the questions that we had about Memphis are still there.
Like they're valid. Yeah.
I mean, that's my single biggest question mark coming out of Feast Week is like, look, we knew there were going to be issues with Memphis point guard play, but they rank right now 355th in turnover rate in college basketball. 355th. That means in terms of the percentage of possessions that ended in a turnover, there are only 3 teams that are worse than them in college basketball right now. IUPUI is worse than them, one of the worst teams in college basketball. Houston Baptist, again, another one of the worst teams in college basketball, and Jacksonville, who's not very good. Those are the only 3 teams that turn the ball over at a higher rate than Memphis does. And
stop making dudes what they're not. Yeah. Like, stop trying to make dudes what they're not. Freaking run some screens for Imani. Let him do something for you on a one-on-one basis. Stop letting them just run down and jack shots, no pass jacks.
Yeah, that's basketball.
That's what I was gonna ask you guys. Like, how do you fix this if you don't have a point guard and you don't have someone that can get you in the offense? Like, Imani is a 17-year-old that's wired to get his shots up, right? That's the way that he plays. How do you coach that out of him? How do you make someone be something that they're not? Because what we're seeing out of him right now, that's what he is. That's what he's always been at the high school level. So how do you get that out of him?
You slow it down. You run some offense. Like, I understand that your talent is perceived as overwhelming, especially offensively, but you're not showing it because you're not putting guys in position to score. Like, stop letting Earl Timberlake dribble down and try to attack the middle and spin and try to finish. Like, I understand he's a big physical dude, not a point guard. When you don't have a point guard, set up offense. You can free flow your offense when you have a really good point guard. Like, if you don't have a solid point guard right away, or you're dealing with a freshman point guard, you need to manufacture more stuff. That's just the bottom line. And this whole Imani, Fran Fraschilla was just roasting him. Like, I've never heard Fran get on a team as hard as what he was getting on Memphis. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I was like, Fran's like, what are you doing? Imani Bates is not a point guard. Stop this nonsense. Make him what he is. He's a bucket getter. We talked about it before. I'm pretty sure we predicted this. We knew this was going to happen. Like, stop trying to make him a point guard because Penny Hardaway, you're a point guard. Let Imani do what Imani does. He's a scorer. Let him be a scorer.
Yeah, but what this is in a back room when you're talking with a recruit and he wants to be the ball handler, he wants to be the point guard. That then you agree to it, and he's going to come play for you as a result. So what this is to me is a promise that makes no sense. That they're trying to make a kid something that he's not, and that's on the coaching staff.
Hey, and that shit's all cute. Those promises are all cute and shit until you're 351st in offense. Then it's like, fuck your promises. Gosh, I'm going nuts right now.
Yeah, no,
forget your promises. Like, you gotta. I'm sorry for swearing so much. Like, forget your promises, dude. You need to get busy, run some offense, and manufacture some stuff. Put your guys in positions to score. How many duck-ins have you seen Jalen Duren do?
Not many.
Dude, that dude is a Hulk. He is a beast. He's not even getting the ball unless they're dump-offs. What are we doing? Like, take advantages of the bodies that you have. And run some cross screens. Get Imani the ball at 15 feet on the wing. Let him do something. He's got, and he measured short, but he's got enough height and length to get over college kids. What are we doing? Like, I understand this whole thing. Like, we recruit kids. We want to play free. We want to let them go. You can't let them do that if they're not good enough to do that. And if they don't have the mindset to play for the next guy. And not a single person at Memphis that's playing there right now has the mindset for the next guy. And that's a problem. And you're seeing the result of that problem right now because Earl Timberlake thinks he's the dude. Realistically, he's probably the 4th option. And I know he was a top 20 kid, but Lester Quiones has earned that 3rd spot because he has scored consistently at Memphis. Like, Imani Bates and Jalen Duren, you brought them in to be dudes. Let them be dudes. Set them up. Put them in position to be dudes. What are we doing? It's ridiculous. Slow the ball down. Your defense is great. Slow the ball down. Put your guys in position and turn it into a one-on-one affair. But at the same time, put them in position where they can be successful in the one-on-one. If you're going down in a semi-break situation, I saw this 4 times against Iowa State. I saw this 4 times. If Iowa State's all the way back on defense, don't let them keep going. Pull the ball out. That's Penny's responsibility. Pull the ball out. Like, stop letting Earl Timberlake go up there and just throw something up. It's ridiculous.
You're right.
Sorry, guys. If y'all want
to
to clip that, you can. I just went berserk.
No,
I didn't mean to go that
crazy.
crazy.
What's most frustrating about watching them, though, you're 100% right. It's like the decisions that they make. It's almost always the wrong play. Like there was one example that someone was texted to me, the clip of this. It's the offense is set up. It was early in the Iowa State game, and Amani is supposed to run off of a dribble handoff for Jalen Duren, right? But the Iowa defender reads it, gets on top of Amani, so he goes back door. Jalen Duren throws this beautiful little bounce pass, and Amani's got the ball. It's basically a 2-on-1 situation. You got a guy in the opposite corner and a help side defender under the basket, and Amani's there 12 feet from the rim. And you know what he does? He drives in, he spins, and he tries to throw an over-the-shoulder pass that ends up going straight into press row. A blind over-the-shoulder pass. The options that were there, take that pull-up. Don't hit the guy in the corner in the a hammer action, right? Hit the guy in the corner. If the dude in the corner is coming to the rim, throw the ball up to the rim, let him go get it. I think it was Malcolm Dandridge or something. Like, there were 17 different decisions that he can make. And the one that he made was he went into the help defender, he spun, threw the ball over his shoulder, a blind pass, hit somebody in press row in the head, broke his computer. That's the decision that he made. That right there, to me, sums up everything about what's wrong with this Memphis team right now. They're not making good decisions. They don't have someone that's going to step up and be like, no, that's not the way that we're doing this. And that, I think,
make the NCAA tournament.
I think they'll make the NCAA tournament.
I don't think so. Not at this rate. Not unless they fix something quick.
They're gonna fix it. There's the big.
They haven't fixed it yet. They've been there for 3 years.
Well, here's the thing. You got Larry Brown in there for a reason, right? So maybe this is what they've won all their games before this. We talk about how sometimes you need a good loss. You just got your ass kicked by Iowa State. And look, I know Iowa State had a great week in Barclays. I'm still not convinced that this Iowa State team is going to end up being a tournament team this year, right? You just got your ass kicked by Iowa State. If that's not going to open up your eyes, then I don't know if anything will. And if this isn't the wake up call that they needed, then like you're right, we can stick a fork in this Memphis season now. But I think they're going to find a way. Why else do you have Larry Brown there not to be able to fix shit like this, right?
The problem is when you have trouble manufacturing efficient offense, you're susceptible to losing to anybody in the American. And if you lose to the wrong team in the American, that could really damage you.
Yep, 100%. All right.
And look, and there's another thing too. Like Memphis, some of their stuff. You said they were undefeated up until that game. Yeah. A lot of their stuff is going to be blinded because they're winning against bad non-cons. Who all have they played prior to that? Do you have that?
Yeah, the best one was Western Kentucky.
Okay, so Western Kentucky is not very good this year.
They beat. Well, it wasn't the worst. They beat Virginia Tech on a neutral floor.
Damn, have they been disappointing? What the heck happened to Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech. But the thing about Virginia Tech is they're just not the kind of team that's going to give Memphis problems because they don't have the individual defenders to kind of slow those guys down.
True.
And Memphis's athleticism just kind of was too much for him. Same thing with Western Kentucky. Same thing with St. Louis. And like I watched the St. Louis and Western Kentucky games. Like they weren't awful. It was just once you got against a team that could go out there and force turnovers. That's kind of what they did in Iowa State. We saw a team just give the ball away over and over and over.